Good evening. It's certainly been wet around Newcastle and the suburban areas, Central Coast picking up good falls, and areas throughout the valley such as Clarencetown. So we've lost this kind of activity. And stunning sunrise photo from Mark Crockett. The sun's been out in full force throughout the far north of New South Wales, but the clouds certainly shutting things down. We topped the list actually. We had 50 to 70 millimetres overnight, and that's continued throughout today. Williamtown, as I said, up around Clarencetown, there's been some good numbers as well. Throughout the Upper Hunter, very limited though. Big falls continue right throughout Central Australia at the moment. Now we're going to see big numbers, heavy rain on the way for Victoria. They've had very strange conditions, very strong easterly winds overnight. Now we've got this trough that's drawing down masses of tropical moisture from the northwest, and more big falls and storms today and more on the way throughout tomorrow. The trough line, this is what's been causing all of the rain for us. Looks like it's just going to drift to the north, so the mid-north coast is going to see a lot more rain, and we are wedged in between these two systems, so we'll see a few more showers on the way. Right along the monsoon trough, multiple lows wanting to become cyclones as we move towards next week. So very active throughout the northwest. The heat is back for Perth. For Adelaide, more cloud, more wet weather streaming in, hitting Victoria, Tasmania. We'll see some flash flooding throughout central Victoria, northern Tassie. The capital picking up falls. Sydney too, more wet weather and drizzle driving through. Temperatures just held down, way down, only maxing out into the low 20s with all of this cloud cover and the wet weather driving through, mostly hitting the coastal areas, Central Coast, Port Stephens, but some of which reaching around the Barringtons. Gloucester will see some good falls. The winds moving around, potentially around to the east-northeast as early as tomorrow. So again, likely to be somewhat cloud affected. Better falls there throughout the north and the mountain areas. Limited numbers throughout parts of the valley, but we'll have that shower and drizzle activity continue across most suburban areas, including the Central Coast from Woy Woy to Wyong and around to Gosford, and the same throughout the lake, western parts, Toronto, Nelson Bay, Port Stephens to Williamtown. Also seeing more wet weather and drizzle, light showers driving through, and periods of light rain as well, helping to accumulate those numbers slowly. Temperatures again slightly warmer. We should see a little bit of less activity throughout parts of the valley throughout tomorrow. Not that you've had huge numbers so far. Strong wind warning again, those winds coming straight in, so seas at 2.5 and the swell up to about 2 metres. Taking a look at the tides, fairly big. Full moon tomorrow, so high tide 9:38 at 1.93 of a metre. Back to the low in the afternoon at 4:15. Sun's up 6:12 and down just before 8 at the moment. Can't see it. Now, this is going to be interesting. I wouldn't be surprised if we see some storm activity actually around, because the winds are going to be out of the north. That's going to help push temperatures up around 30 degrees, cloud affected. There could be some showers and wet weather around parts of the valley on Saturday. Then Sunday, greater chance of seeing increased storm activity, and that includes areas throughout the valley and the Upper Hunter. But it's still going to be somewhat warm. Those northerlies are going to try and break up that cloud cover from tomorrow, even more so though on Saturday. Same for the Central Coast. Surfers, yeah, well, the swell is coming in at the moment. It's been building and will continue to do so throughout tomorrow. Going to be solid 2 metres, but heavily wind affected. These kinds of winds, the devil winds, they get into every beach and blow everyone off the sand. There's no one out there, not even kite surfers at the moment. There were a couple, but it's not a pretty picture along our coast at the moment. Good night.
Thanks, Gav. Now to that tennis story we mentioned earlier, and the first Australian Open players have been released from hotel quarantine in Melbourne, but those in hard lockdown have been told they'll now have to wait to be set free. Nick Kyrgios hasn't had to worry about isolation and is re-energised following a long break from tennis.
Back in town, but the first port of call, a trip to the barber for a fresh new look.
Excited about what the next 3 weeks might unfold?
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. Super excited to be back in Melbourne and get ready to compete again.
The world number 47 hasn't played since last February, opting to stay home due to COVID-19 safety concerns. Valuable time in Canberra to rejuvenate his body and mind.
It's been a long time since you've been on the court. You feel like your game's up to shape?
Yeah, feel good. Let's take it day by day, mate.
He's aiming to take his game to the next level, following last year's impressive run when he pushed Rafael Nadal in a thrilling fourth round.
There it is. What a
contest.
Meanwhile, the wait has been just as long for Ash Barty. She'll mark her return to the court in Adelaide tomorrow.
It's obviously nice to put all of our practice into a match and test out a few things and test myself against some of the best players in the world.
The world number one has put in the hard yards to ensure she'll be a major threat at Melbourne Park.
That's the beauty of kind of our sport, is that everyone can prepare in different ways. Everyone has their own processes that they go through. So we've adapted, we've adjusted, and I feel like come first day we'll be ready to go, ready to play.
And she might be 36, but Sam Stosur is out to prove she's far from a spent force in what will be her 19th Australian Open appearance.
I'm happy with where I'm at. I guess you always want more. You always want that, extra shot to go in or feel a little bit better. But overall, I think I'm in a good place.
And Jane, that's finally all from me.
When too much sport is never enough.
As Mike Ribbit would say.
Exactly. And that is NVA News for this Thursday. A Current Affair is next, and we'll have updates throughout the evening.
From all of us here.
Good night.